Hello everybody, I'm Anthony Rockers living the Yellow Submarine, and today is day 4 of the 30-day song challenge. This one is called a song that this one is actually called a song you know all the words to. So this song was actually not too hard to pick, but even though I do love the music that I listen to, and not only that, know most of the lyrics on there, but not too many. But this is a song that I know most of the lyrics on, especially not only that, but I did grow up of it too, especially when I first heard it. I've always thought it was awesome. And it is Chop Suey by System of a Down, a clone of Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, of how popular it is. But well, I mean, I'm not even joking. This song is definitely not one of my favorite songs by System of a Down. It's not the worst. It's mostly because of how overplayed this song is. If it wasn't that overplayed, I would have loved this song a lot more. Well, this song, I would rank it. Like if I had to rank this song, I probably would give it an 8 out of 10. Mostly because the verses, or you could basically call the instrumentation in the intro, sounded awesome. And not to mention, I mean, System of a Down, they're great at instrumentation. They're one of the best. That's why I love System of a Down so much. It's mostly, especially over here. That's why I love System of a Down over here. Because I love their instrumentation and music. And this is, like, again, I've always said this a bunch of times. This is a band that this is a band that every band from nu metal should have done. Like, with more about metal rather than making it more about rapping. Even though nu metal is about rapping with DJs and rapping and no guitar solos are just garbage, System of a Down is basically all about heavy metal too. Not to mention the verses is everybody. I mean, everybody should know this song. I mean, I'm not gonna play this song because everybody should know this song, but because especially let me tell you about the short background. So the Rick Rubin, by the way, fun fact, he produced. I believe he produced all the System of a Down catalog, I believe, and also the self-titled debut album. He also, of course, produced this album too. And I've already ranked the tracks. I already did an album review of this album, or because I know I did a ranking. I believe I've ranked this. Well, no, I don't think well, I don't know. I don't remember too much because I haven't done this video in a long time. But this, I gotta say, Rick Rubin, he's easily one of my favorite producers in music history because he is a legendary producer who worked on so many bands. He worked on like so many bands that you can name offhand, especially the bands at the time too. But this song, Chop Suey, I love the verses by Sarge. I've always loved Sarge Taken's vocals, even from nu metal. I think personally he has a way better vocal than most nu metal bands out there because he actually proved himself that he can actually sing, and not only that, he can actually have aggressive craziness of the vocals. Just to make it, even though some vocal ranges that he uses is very unexpected, not only that, he actually has a. Sometimes he makes me laugh. Sometimes with his, it depends on some songs that makes me laugh. And not to mention Darren Malakian as a backup vocals, which it does include this on this song Chop Suey, and the song was released on the Toxicity album, and this is easily my favorite System of a Down song, hands down, by their catalog. Mostly production and not only, well, I mean, more specifically the songwriting. Not to mention, I did grow up with this album a lot because I grew up with a bunch of songs. Again, I'm gonna say this again. I grew up with the following songs, not just like the hits like Chop Suey and Toxicity. I mean, I've already know this song a lot of times, so this one doesn't count. The songs I grew up with is Prison Song, Needles, and also you could ATWA. Also, it stands for Air, Trees, Water, and Animals. Air, Trees, Water, Animals. I grew up with that song, and also finally I grew up with Shimmy. That one, those are such songs I grew up with when I was young. My parents had this album for years, and this is still the album that they still have to this very day. This is the album that they had for a long time too. And they've had this album for ever since it first came out. I believe it was, yeah, they have this album even before the. If you by the way, sorry for bringing up the subject matter because this song has a crazy subject matter. Not only by the song, but what was happening at the time. This album was released, I believe, a couple days before this. I believe it was released on September 7th or September 4th of 2001. That was a couple days before we witnessed one of the deadliest terrorist attacks in the U.S. history. And it's the 9/11 attacks. Or you could basically call it the September 11 attacks, more specifically. And this song, when this song came out, or as a single after the attacks. Clear Channel Communications, also known as, well, I mean, nowadays it's called iHeartRadio nowadays. But this is back then it was used to be called Clear Channel Communications, if you didn't know that. And they decided to pull out a bunch of songs from a bunch of bands to maybe play those songs on the radio, because it depends on what the song is talking about, the lyrically. So yeah, that was a thing for a while too. And this song, love the verses, especially the chorus. The chorus is really good. I'm not gonna lie. Even the way Sarge take it, and not only that, Derek Malakane, when they both sing together, sound, it almost kind of reminds me of if the Beatles became a heavy metal band, or more specifically a thrash metal band. That's pretty much what it reminds me of. Or mostly specifically this band, System of a Down. Every time I hear this band, I'm always thinking like the Beatles. And by the way, Darren Malakian also said that, I believe he said the Beatles are one of his one of their biggest influence on this album that they made. Which hearing this album entirely, and especially the couple songs I grew up with, I actually agree. I mean, I'm not saying that it sounds a whole lot to the Beatles. I mean, if you're comparing like the production, like how it was recorded, and not to mention like the songwriting, you can kind of see it too, and especially know what he's talking about. But I'm not gonna lie, that bridge, or you can basically call it after that instrumentation, the second part of the instrumentation, if you will. I mean, after the verses, I love, like, again, Sarge Sagan it proves that he's crazy with his vocals. I love it. He is easily my favorite nu metal band from other nu metal bands that were doing at the time, hands down. I mean, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, but what about Linkin Park and Hybrid Theory and Meteora? Look, I don't really love them that much, because I mean, my biggest disappointment, which later on I'm gonna make a video of my top 5 or top 4 bands I hate for becoming sellouts. That's gonna be probably next, or maybe later on. Who knows? But I'm gonna make a video about that, so I can show you how much of an open-minded guy I am. I don't hate these bands fully. I just hate the bands that they became sellouts, and they know it's the case too. Some of the bands do, but again, back to the song Chop Suey. I love that you can basically call it like at the end of almost at the end of the song. I prefer that one over the whole entire song, the beginning and middle. I mostly prefer the ending because where it gets more melody focused. I mean, well, not focused melody, but it had a great melody breakdown, if you will. But oh my god, so good. And this song is very head bangable, just like this band. Well, I mean, you could basically say the Toxicity album is way full of headbangers right there. Unless if it's not your thing, you're may not gonna like this album, may not. But if you are new here, I mean, if you're new here, if you never know who System of a Down is, highly suggest you to listen to. I mean, if you don't like heavy metal, or if you don't like thrash metal, stuff like that, I highly suggest you to check this album out, listen to the songs entirely, and let me know what you think. You may or may not like it, but that's okay. But don't be sarcastically or throw a bunch of hate just for no reasons. Just give me your honest opinion why. If you can't get into it because it's a little too extreme for you, then that's okay. Because I mean, metal's not everybody's genre, so it's even in the modern time, that metal's pretty much dead. I mean, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, rock is not dead." I mean, I get rock is not dead. It's just that it's submerged with pop, or you could basically call it popular music nowadays. But this song proves itself that they can sing, not only that, play the instrumentations perfectly and time to each other too. I love it. I love that intro with that John Dolomiet's drum roll at the intro. Love his drumming, by the way. And not to mention that guitar riff in it is awesome. Might be I don't know. Because I was listening to the albums from System of a Down. I had, it was tough for me to rank because this is definitely in my list of one of my favorite riffs from this song, or from the band. But this song is, oh my gosh, so good. I mean, it's not one of my favorite songs. It's in my top 20 favorite songs from System of a Down, mostly because it's so. I would call this song more of a pop hit, if you will. But this song is not my favorite. I mean, it's not one of my favorites on this album, even though I do enjoy the song, but it's too pop. I mean, well, it's not too popular, I guess, like a popular music, no. This song has some great moments in this song, I'm not gonna lie. Not to mention, that like I don't know. There's something about this song that I love so much, and not to mention in the production, the original title was actually called because Rick Rubin, I believe Rick Rubin said this. He said they wanted the title to be called, or the song title to be called "Self-Righteous Suicide," but the band decided to call it Chop Suey, and all of the band, even including Rick Rubin, had a funny joke while they were trying to create a name for it. After that they decided to officially confirm to call it Chop Suey. They took like some of the words from the title and decided to chop some of the words and then mash them together. Like what I mean is like self-right chop suicide. That's what they were trying to make a joke like that too, but they officially announced that they just wanted to make that title as the song pretty much. And I do, because I know a lot of people would be like, wait, chop suey? I thought chop suey is a food. Yeah, I mean they kind of did actually show a little bit part on the music video. Yeah, the music video, or you could basically call it a music video. Where back then it was all about making music videos, because it was all about them performing rather than what you see today. Like that's why I dropped away from popular music these days and trends, because this is and like I know a lot of people would say 1999 was the last year. They say that the day the music dies. Well, I mean it depends, because I mean personally, I think the mid 2000s was the day the music died. Personally, because I mean, think about it. Personally, I think that 2005 was like the day the music died, because literally there wasn't like anything like interesting that I found from later songs. I don't know. I wasn't that big. Like I wasn't too open minded to late 2000s. I mean, it's a little too off topic. I don't care, because I'm more of a bigger fan of like basically what was happening at the time, in the context. And this song, Chop Suey, is in my top 20 favorite System of a Down song. It's not in my top 5 or top 10. Mostly it's because it's so like a pop hit. Or I think I've ranked this in my top 10, I believe. Or not my top 10. It's around like in my top 20s or top 19. But it's not one of my favorites on this album. There's actually a couple songs I actually like way more than this song, even though I do love the song. But I would rank this 8 out of 10. Or 7 out of 10. Well, not 7 out of 10. That's a little negative. I would just rank that 8 out of 10, because there was actually moments I actually really enjoyed from it. Not to mention, Sarge taking that bridge where he yells "Father." Oh, it's awesome. That is badass. I love it. This is why I love System of a Down so much. They're such an awesome band, personally. Unless if heavy or thrash metal is not your thing, you're not going to like this song. But this is definitely one of the most pop hits from System of a Down. So unless if it's not your thing, you're not gonna like this song. Because I mean, especially where in the future, where basically metal is like dying of all the thrash and actually the thrash and the more of a raw sound, if you will. Because especially like Clear Channel's Communications, they say this track is a little too raw for normal interpreters. Because how like they interpret it of finding it raw. I mean, if you think this is raw, listen to the Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP. It's very raw. I mean, like, because even though, like, don't get me wrong, I know on my channel I say rap is one of my least favorites. Eminem I could get into his catalog. I mean, not fully into his catalog. I actually like his earlier ones way more than his later ones, personally. Personally, my favorite ones is the Marshall Mathers LP and the Eminem Show. So, I'm like, again, if you're gonna throw all your comments about Eminem, don't throw all the comments in the comments, because I'm not into rap, so don't like talk to me about rap. I mean, you could talk about the context of it, but I'm not a big fan of like rap, especially as band members, or not band members, but specifically rappers that are. Don't get me wrong, there's actually some rappers I do enjoy, but most of all are basically the old rappers from the oldies, and they're actually good, way better than what you hear today. Tupac and Biggie Smalls, I love their flows, but this song, Chop Suey, System of a Down, is easily not one of my favorites on the Toxicity album, mostly because it's so overplayed a lot of times. I much prefer this one over Metallica's Enter Sandman, mostly because that song is way too freaking overplayed. More specifically, Nirvana Smell Like Teen Spirit was so overplayed that's like the only song everybody knows by them. Even though System of a Down wrote some songs that everybody do remember from this album, or well, not from this album, but from the other albums too. But this is not one of my favorites, but it's not the worst. There's actually some awesome moments from that song. So if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments down below what is the song that that you remember all the words to it. Because I mean, if you gotta put like a song that is very well known, then go ahead. I mean, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm just saying. Because again, let me know what. Because let me know what song you know all the words to, like basically the lyrics. So yeah, that's all covered. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family. Tap the bell for notifications to go directly to that video. YouTube has been going through problems. I'm trying to notify subscribers to go to that video. Oh, it's painful to go through it. But again, the next one is going to be day 5, and it's going to be basically a bias. Well, I mean, not a bias, but more specifically, I don't know even how you would call it. Basically, what my opinion think it's better, and it's a song that proves that you have good taste. So it's going to be day 5. So I'll let you know. So I already made my decision. So I'll do it in the next video. My social media are in the description. As always, I will see you in the next video. Change the world. Peace and love. And also, well, I was gonna and by the way, I don't know if I did this before, but I'm gonna do it now. I just want to take a quick couple of seconds of silence because we lost George Floyd. Yeah, I've heard of him a lot lately on the news, where he's getting brutally killed by the police, and we're having like the peaceful protesters. Like again, this is gonna be the only. This may be the only video that I'm gonna talk about politics, because politics is not my thing, and I'm not like a politics person, because I mean I'm not a big fan. I mean, sure, I mean there's news around going for it, but let's be focused. The news these days basically have the similar topics, especially what's going on with like the president, stuff like that. I don't want to dive too much on the political views, so this is gonna be the only video I'm gonna talk about the political views. So because I'm not a political type person. So again, this video is dedicated to you, George Floyd. Rest in peace. Hopefully your family members are okay for what's going on. And I will see you in the next video. Change the world. Peace and love. And also, keep headbanging. Yeah.